Tuttle here for Ferguson Roof Systems. For 43 years, Ferguson Roof Systems has been protecting Oklahoma's homes and businesses with quality roofing services. Their goal was to be the most honest and dependable roofing company in the state, all while providing free services such as lifetime labor warranty and annual inspections. Well, mission accomplished with thousands of client testimonials, an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, and a 5-star rating on Google. Look, the weather gives you enough to worry about, so why worry about who to trust with your roof? Call Ferguson Roof Systems today or find out more at fergusonroofsystems.com.
Hey everyone, Meteorologist Tuttle here with you. Just doing a quick live here for tonight. I want to talk about the potential for a little bit of freezing fog. Earlier I had looked at freezing drizzle. I think I'm about to change the forecast a little bit and downplay a hair to freezing fog, which of course is still going to cause the slick issues on the roadways. Short outline where that's probably going to be the most likely region for you, and that would begin for late tomorrow night into early Wednesday morning. So that's what we'll talk about, kind of the focus for today, and then I'll also show you just the rain that'll move in for later in the week and how it'll affect your upcoming weekend. We'll kind of leave it at that. So that's the way I can just knock it out. Let's see. So thanks for tuning in on Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. In the comment section, I did post where you can join in on the live Facebook broadcast channel. That way you can get notifications from me when I do go live so you don't miss anything. Always good to see you guys in the chat and leaving your comments all the time, checking either from where you are. And I always see, Karen, there's always a request for little Larry and Penelope. They seem to be the stars of the show. They're the stars, all right, around here anyway. Penelope, man, one of you guys called her a queen, and that she is. She thinks she rules the roost, that's for sure. All right, so let's get on with it. Let's see, I got all that stuff done. All right, so outside, of course, it was a nice day today, 52 degrees. So, I mean, woof. I mean, I'm loving this weather after, the last couple of days, obviously. And we're going to get some decent weather still for most of this week. Just a little hiccup for our Wednesday time frame for some of us, but not everybody's going to get influenced in that. We can take a look at that here in the data. So today, we topped out the maximum air temperatures across Oklahoma. Almost 2/3 of the state, it was in the 70s. Still some 60s out across northeast Oklahoma and out toward the Panhandle. But man, now this is some good weather here for January. Don't get used to it though. It's not gonna last forever. But enjoy it while you can. And this week, several days will be like this. So that's some good news. Okay, so in the blog I had mentioned we might get a little bit of a light freezing drizzle on. That'll kind of mess things up for about the northeastern third of the state for Wednesday morning. So let's see if that's still going to hold. I've been watching the model trends today, and they've been the NAM model has been the one that's been catching on this. The other models are oblivious to it. And usually NAM does pretty good, but it's weakening the high. It's still going to bring the high in. It's still going to bring everything like it's supposed to, but it's weakening the high, meaning it's not going to have the core of cold temperatures like it did before. Therefore, the forecast changes a little bit. The depth of the cold air is not quite as robust, and the temperatures themselves aren't just quite as cold, and so there's going to be a little bit less push of invasion of that cold air. So let's take a look here at the wind field. These are little barbs, which indicates the position of the front, and I'm going to go ahead and move this into Tuesday. Let's go to Tuesday evening. There's midnight. Okay, so in this midnight corridor, we're getting this little bit of a push of a north wind in northeast Oklahoma. So this is the backdoor cold front that comes in across Missouri, Kansas, even heads into a little bit of Arkansas. As we head toward the daybreak hours on Wednesday, so let's go to around 6 o'clock in the morning, we have this very, very weak frontal boundary that kind of zips through here, falls apart, comes into the metro, kind of hangs around the I-40 corridor like so. So this is the stalled front. Yesterday and Saturday's data had this front a lot stronger, and it had it kind of maybe moving in something like this. So it's not a huge change in position, but it's enough subtlety to where it's going to change the forecast a bit. But let's get to that here in the detail for you. So what it's going to do is bring in some low-level moisture in the form of some higher relative humidities. So let's zip on through to that. I'm going to start you off. There's Wednesday morning at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And the purpose of this is you can see the relative humidity is up around 100% where you see the blue areas. So that is going to be where we're going to get some fog development. All right, so wherever you see these little blue areas, because the winds are very, very light. Oh, the other thing I want to show you on this map, where did it show up? There it is. So there's our little region of high pressure that builds in. So that's the center of this high that's coming in. So we do get a little bit of a weak high that comes in, which really helps to calm the air mass down as far as wind field goes. So we get that moisture trapped in here, and that causes some patchy fog in the low-lying areas especially, for the valleys, and where you see all this little pink area, that indicates where the fog is so thick you have reduced visibilities down to basically around a tenth of a mile or less, so very little visibility. It also kind of highlights we have to watch for the freezing fog. So where would that be? Let's take a look at temperatures about that time, and I'm just going to, first off, I'll show you how it's going to be for tonight and tomorrow. So overnight tonight, let's see, about 7 o'clock, see these little stretches where you see the blue? These are in the valleys. This is why you have these cold temperatures at night in the valleys, whereas the rest of the state is into the 40s for the most part, and out of the 30s. So that's a nice little welcome change. But as we head into the afternoon hours, into 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon for Tuesday, obviously much better. Again, lots of 60s and still probably some 70s, especially kind of in this little path here and down to North Texas. Otherwise, 60s for the rest of the state. And you will notice, because that little weak front that does come in, it does shave a few degrees off the temperatures here in northeast Oklahoma. Still nice, but just not as warm as it could have been. All right, let's go into Tuesday night. And you can see how that cold effect of the cold air kind of deepens a little bit by the time we head into 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. So this is where you're going to see the patchy freezing fog. A little spot around here, a little spot right up in here, down here around Tulsa, then Muskogee, and out here in northeast Oklahoma, southeastern Kansas, southwest Missouri, northwestern, very far northwestern Arkansas. So anywhere you see these little blue areas, that's where temperatures are getting down below freezing. Therefore, you're probably going to get freezing fog, which means the driving conditions on bridges and overpasses should be very slick, which would cause some accidents. I know anytime you have freezing fog, it's kind of a hidden thing, and a lot of people don't pay much attention to it until, of course, you hit it. You're not realizing temperatures are below freezing. But here's another look at the cloud cover, which is also indicates where the fog is. So you can see how it's patchy. So it's not everywhere across the state. And again, you have to have those temperatures that will be below freezing to make it count. If you look at the vertical column of this in the atmosphere, and I look at the, let's go down from midnight, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm in the Tulsa area. Now let's go to the newest run here. Let's see, there's 10. Let's go back up. All right, so let's go 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. So what happens here in this time frame, this is for Tulsa, by the way. So the model does have the cold air moving into Tulsa County. And it also has this little measurement here on the left, which indicates fog, very likely. So it's favored fog in this development. And temperatures down here at the surface are going to be below freezing, so it would be freezing fog. You can look at it also on our little cross-section view. And I'll show you down here, it also has measurable precipitation from that fog. In other words, just enough lightness to coat the roadways. And that's this little red area you see here at daybreak. So this will be right in time for rush hour, for example, for Tulsa. So just kind of keep in mind, it's a very weak signal. It's not very strong. And actually, the models have weakened it over the last 24 hours, have not removed it, have just weakened it, which makes it a very faint signal to detect in the data. So do not be surprised if that's the case for you. So just be careful when you're heading on out for Wednesday morning. At least it's not a widespread thing, and it's keeping Oklahoma City out of it. At the time I wrote the blog, it had Oklahoma City in it, but now because it's backing off a little bit on the strength, it keeps Tulsa area and again, kind of a northern frame up here, north of Oklahoma City, and these little low-lying areas. Anywhere in here, if you have low-lying areas, you are susceptible to that freezing fog. All right, so let's take a little rainfall. On Thursday, we'll have a little bit of light sprinkle activity, very light passing shower out here. This is for late Wednesday night into early Thursday morning, so daybreak on Thursday. If I were to do a forecast sounding for this, it's still probably going to show a little bit of dryness here in the lower to mid levels of the atmosphere, so a lot of this will evaporate, but you will see a lot of cloud cover with this, and you definitely get some sprinkles out of it in a passing shower, and that's kind of how our Thursday is going to shape up. So a little extra clouds, but otherwise that moves off, and we still get some sun, we still warm things up, so that's good. But then here's the heavier rain that starts to develop for Friday afternoon. Here's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and 6 o'clock in the evening, moving it now to eastern Oklahoma. So probably from Friday afternoon to Friday evening, the eastern half of Oklahoma gets a pretty good downpour, and then looks like some more development overnight into early Saturday morning here across central and eastern Oklahoma again. Here's lunchtime on Saturday. So what this tells you is if you have any outdoor plans across central and eastern Oklahoma for Friday evening and or during the day on Saturday, you have to dodge some raindrops. All right, so let's go to Saturday evening. Again, most of that stuff is still in the eastern half of the state. So not a whole lot of action in western Oklahoma with this next storm system. So on Sunday, again, I was also looking for if we would get enough cold air to wrap around the northern fringe of this to get a little bit of wet rain and snow mixture, maybe across the northern parts of the state. This particular model is backing off the colder airs, keeping it across Colorado and northwestern Kansas, but does not bring it far enough here in Oklahoma at this point in time. So again, I'll watch it during the week, see if that changes, but that's really the only change that would make it. Otherwise, it does have a little bit of light rain in here still for Sunday. So our weekend is not going to be the best, unfortunately. You know, not like it's going to be this last Sunday, which was perfect. With that kind of a situation. But, you know, so that kind of stuff does happen. You do look at the amount of rainfall, though. So here's a look at the Thursday morning deal. You can see how this is very light stuff. Basically just a few sprinkles, light passing showers. So it's only a few hundredths in the rainfall bucket. But the next round that comes in for Friday during the day, a little bit better hit and miss out here in southwest Oklahoma. And then for Friday evening, and Friday night into Saturday morning and into Saturday afternoon. You can see how the rain just keeps accumulating here across the eastern half of the state. Now we're into Sunday. Still more rain, and that kind of wraps up for Sunday afternoon. But you can see some rainfall amounts are maybe up to 2, maybe possibly up to 3 inches of rain over the eastern half of the state. Of course, lighter amounts when you get into central Oklahoma, and very light amounts once you get into the western parts of the state. So that's kind of how that looks. Real quick, I'll pull up the model blend of the 7-day, and we'll see what it looks like here across Oklahoma City, for example. So we will be able, because that front's going to fall apart, then we will be able to hit the 60s on Wednesday. Earlier, that front was going to hang in here. We weren't going to make it, but since it's going to fall apart pretty quick, we should be okay. So that saves us for this week. And then on the weekend for Saturday and Sunday, because of the clouds and the rain, it'll keep temperatures cooler. And then if we don't get enough cold air in here to pile in at the last minute, we'll keep it all a chilly rainfall for Sunday versus having some snowflakes mixed in. Then after that, temperatures kind of still on the, I'd say the mild trend with the daytime highs there, close to 60 in the upper 50s and over lows in the 40s. So that's really not a bad forecast as we head into the first week of February. If you did read my blog, though, you do know that in the extended outlook, there is a big pattern change that's going to affect the country once again and allow some more cold air to come in from Canada and from points north of there. So that's pretty decent, and that would probably happen right around the middle of February, middle to third week of February. We'll get some really cold stuff in here again. Won't be probably as cold as the last time around, but it's still, obviously, still winter-ish. Cold temperatures. So that's what I've got here for you. Again, for you guys in Dallas, you don't have to worry about anything other than a little bit of raindrops for your weekend as well. But as far as any snow goes, we'll see if that comes back in the forecast for Sunday at some point, maybe across northern Oklahoma, if we get enough cold air that comes in. If not, it's just a chilly rain. And then as far as driving is concerned, when you're dealing with fog, obviously you got to be careful. When you're dealing with freezing fog, that's black ice situation, and it usually just affects the bridges and overpasses. Ground temperatures would kind of offset that, so your normal roadway should be okay. It's just those elevated ones where temperatures at late night, early morning can get below or out around the freezing point. Then you have to watch for those. So that's the only thing I kind of caution with. Otherwise, everything looks good. If you are late to the party, you've missed the whole broadcast because I'm wrapping up. This is actually a pretty quick one, so we're out of here and. Did the whole thing in about 10 minutes. That's pretty good for me. All right, you guys have a great night. I'll check again the data for tomorrow. If it looks like that, freezing fog situation may get a little bit, more robust or a little less, I'll let you know. Put a little post. Might do a live. We'll see how it goes. Otherwise, just enjoy your week and enjoy the warmer weather during the day and that sunshine. It's been nice to see. Again, thanks for your support, liking, sharing the video, all that kind of stuff. Joining a platform if you'd like to support me in that way. There's Facebook fan subscriptions. There's YouTube. I think Rumble's got something now. Locals has something. So there's a lot of ways to give back to your content creators you can dive into. And you can find all of this on my website at AaronTuttleWeather.com. All right, you guys have a great night, and we'll talk again soon. Take care.